Kulikuwa na mzee mmoja huko anaitwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Tulipiga kura, akaanguka kura. Pia alianguka kura, akahangaika kule nje. Alafu akafanya uamuzi akasema tushikane pamoja kama Kenya moja ili tupeleke Kenya yetu hii mbele. Sasa tumeshikana. Yule wa Munyoro ambaye alikuwa anasumbua na maneno ya ukabila, sasa tumemfukuza. Vile tulifukuza ule Rigiji, yule wa Munyoro, pesa ambaye ilikuwa imepotea ya kumaliza hii barabara ya Mesiku Brigadia sasa imepatikana. Tulijaribu kumwambia serikali wakati hiyo ingine kwamba hiyo barabara ya loop ya kupita hii ya kuenda mpaka kule Mesiku kule Luguru pesa ipatikane, pesa ilikuwa ipatikani, lakini sasa hivi ile wa Munyoro aliondoka, sasa hiyo pesa imeanza kupatikana. Ndio tunataka viongozi ambao ukipatiwa nafasi usambaza maendeleo kwa kila pembe ya nchi yetu ya Kenya. Pasipo kuangalia huyo ni mfupi, huyo ni mrefu, huyo ni wa kabila gani, huyo ni kabila ya wapi. Na niambie ma-MCA wetu wote wa Bungoma, wale wako sitting na wale ambao wanakuja, kwamba wamekuwa wakilia ati wanataka World Development Fund. Mimi nikiwa gavana ya Bungoma, nikichaguliwa kama gavana ya Bungoma, pesa ya maendeleo ya Bungoma yote nitachukua, kama ni shilingi milioni 500, nitadivide by 9 constituencies ili to develop our wards equally. Hakuna haja ya kukatalia pesa huko Bungoma. Pesa tutapeleka mashinane. We will take our money, our development budget to every corner of our county so that we can sort out the problems of our county. Mimi naomba nyinyi wazazi ambao mko hapa, wale ambao wako na bahati wamechaguliwa kwa mabodi ya mashule, wale ma-PTA chair, ma-POM chair, mimi nawaomba pamoja na walimu wetu wakuu, tunawaomba, saa hii ni wakati ya njaa, ndio mahindi tumepanda, maharagwe bado hayajakomaa. Msifukuze watoto ati watafute wakuje na maharagwe gorogoro 2, gorogoro 5, gorogoro 6. Saa hii maharagwe hakuna, bado hayajakuwa tayari. Mahindi bado hayajakuwa tayari. Ikifika wakati ya lunch, wacha mtoto aende kwao nyumbani akule chenye mama yake amemtengenezea. Na mimi niambie wale watu ambao wamesoma kwamba the definition of lunch, maana ya lunch sio ugali na kuku. Maana ya lunch sio kidheri. Maana ya lunch ni chochote ambacho mama yako ametengeneza wakati ya lunch, hata kama ni maji ya chumvi, hiyo ndio lunch, ukunywe, ushibe na urudi shuleni uendelee na masomo. Sababu wazazi hawa hawana pension. Pension ya wazazi hawa ni masomo ya watoto yao. Na kwa vile masomo ya primary ni free, pesa ya lunch kama mzazi hajalipa, hajaleta maharagwe, hajaleta mahindi, mtoto ashike barabara, vile alikuja shuleni asubuhi, ashike barabara, aenda kule lunch kwao nyumbani. Nyinyi wa mama, mnashinda kupikia watoto wenu? Si mtapika?
Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, friends of Kenya, Your Excellencies and honorable leaders of political parties, other friends of Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, ladies and gentlemen, nice things have already been said about our host today, so I'm not going to repeat those. I just want to say one or two little things that don't so much mark what he did, but why we miss such talent in public leadership in the country today. The first 10 years of my acquaintance with Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, he was a Minister of Government and I was an opposition parliamentarian. The highest point of our altercations was during the crisis of the genocide in Rwanda, when I brought to Parliament a motion of adjournment to discuss the failure of African diplomacy and the failure of the world to stop the butcher of innocent civilians in that then sad place. Since then, we even got very, very closely together, because after the 2002 elections, I became Minister of Trade and Industry and was Foreign Minister. We were both members of Council of the East African Community. So for a very, very intense 3-4 years, We were intimately involved in negotiation of a common market, the customs union and common market for East Africa. I remember we were spending sleepless nights with Jakaya Kikwete and the Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda to beat the deadline because there was that drive and desire for East African integration. But beyond that, he's known as Mr. Peace Builder for his work not just in Sudan, but also the Mbagadi process for peace building in Somalia. We mention these things not so much as a celebration of an icon of diplomacy, but as a sharp contrast to the sad situation in which we find ourselves today. Unfortunately, egos and guns have been bigger in supply than brains in South Sudan, and you see how the promise of the youngest African country has turned into disaster. The speech from South Sudan and the poorest victims of those that fever in our country. Similarly, Sudan unravels as Khartoum becomes a no-go area. It pains those of us who have associated with peace building to know that we have a president who, sheerly for personal interest in bloody gold, is dragging Kenya into a crisis that's not our own. And he brings people to this territory to try to form a so-called shadow government, when those people have gained their reputation for slaughtering black people in Darfur and Zagawa. It's a disgrace that could never happen if Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka had his way, had a say in how Kenya runs its diplomacy. Similarly, we are passing through difficult times. Today, as I was coming here, I heard the announcement of the Franco-German defense agreement. The first time that Europe has had to look at building a new architecture for defense because of rumbles across the Atlantic. It's a difficult times. But for us, we believe that friends of Kenya will still have the attention to support our democratic project. They could still stand with the efforts of people like Kalonzo Musyoka. Traditionally, the struggle for Kenya's democracy has been watered by the principled statement of the diplomatic community that we stand for what is good for the country, without fear of intimidation, without being blackmailed, without pretending to hail a king as having the best clothes when you can see that the king is naked. Sorry, it's not my day. I just want to say we contrast what we have heard and what is existing in the Kenyan gene pool and the inadequate capacity, competence, and execution of diplomatic duty that we witness in our country today. I am proud to be associated with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, and thank you very much for making us share this important day in your life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, high commissioners, and our distinguished guests, yes. Allow me to acknowledge two people. We have the ambassador of Cyprus with us here, and also the senator for Kisii County.
Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by the Senator for Busia is going to affect the lives and livelihoods of 8 million Kenyans who depend on the sugar sector directly. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised about public participation, I would like the government to know that the only public participation that took place over Nzoia was consulting the governor of Bungoma and the Speaker of the National Assembly. Consulting those two leaders does not amount to public participation over Nzoia Sugar Company. I refuse. I speak today for 1.8 million people of Bungoma who depend on Nzoia Sugar Company. Mr. Speaker, that these two leaders have accepted the factory to be leased to a guy called Rai, who took over Webuye Pan Paper Company. The company has been run down. The timber industry has collapsed. The same Rai, who upon seeing the success in Mumias, due to his brother Sarbi, has come there to try and take a section of that factory because he has the capacity to bribe people in government. We refuse again and again. The decision of leasing Zoya should be rethought. Our people must participate. Our people have elected us. We have the capacity to understand issues. Mr. Speaker, finally, the issue raised by the Committee of Labour on Stadia. I want to celebrate Ababu Namwamba. He is the father of the Talanta City Stadium that is ongoing, whose completion is making progress. Please, please, the new Minister for Sports should make sure that the blueprint of Ababu that included development of Buhungu Stadium in Kakamega must be seen through, because it is an open secret that if you want football to succeed, you only go to 3 corners in this country. You go to Coast, the home of footballers. You go to Nyanza, the home for footballers. Then you come to the home of the Abaluya Football Club, the home of soccer. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Muma.